Let's start with a very fresh good morning to all of you. I am Danish Azam and I am going to restart the chapter Nationalism in India. Today I am going to describe 4 very important questions that are related to Salt March, related to civil disobedience movement. So dear students, first question is list 3 important features of Salt March. So these are 3 very important points. So first point is salt as a powerful weapon. So dear students, salt is something consumed by everyone, either rich or poor, and it is also one of the most essential items of food. Therefore, Gandhiji decided to use salt as a powerful weapon and symbol to unite Indian, because British government had imposed tax on salt itself, and Gandhiji wanted to convince Indians that British government had been so much cruel that it imposed tax even on salt that was very basic item of food. Second point is letter to Viceroy Lord Irwin. But question arises, why Gandhiji did it? Actually, Gandhiji had written a letter to Viceroy Lord Irwin and demanded 11 things, and also told Lord Irwin that if his demand was not fulfilled, Gandhiji would launch a civil disobedience campaign. Third point is beginning of civil disobedience movement. But Lord Irwin rejected demand of Gandhiji. Gandhiji as a result started his famous march along with his 78 followers. Along with his 78 followers from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi village by covering 240 miles. 240 miles within 24 days. Okay, within 24 days, and began civil disobedience movement by breaking salt law there. Now I am going to describe question number 2. How was civil disobedience movement received in countryside or in villages? Okay. So dear students, these are 3 very important points. So first point is refusal to pay land revenue. You know that civil disobedience movement began on 6th April. On 6th April. Okay, civil disobedience movement began on 6th April when Gandhiji broke salt law in Dandi village of Gujarat. After that, news of this remarkable incident reached far and wide. Thousands in different parts of country broke salt law. As people living in towns and cities participated in civil disobedience movement, so people living in villages also received it well. Big and medium farmers who used to pay huge amount of money in the form of land revenue completely refused to pay it after beginning of civil disobedience movement. So farmers refused to pay land revenue. Second point is denial from paying Chaukidari tax. Chaukidari tax was also collected from farmers by British government apart from land revenue. It was collected to give salary to village watchmen called Chaukidar at that time. So farmers also refused to pay it along with land revenue. Next point is violation of forest laws. When tribal people living in forest area came to know about civil disobedience movement, they also decided to break forest law. According to that law, tribals were not allowed to enter in reserved forest. So they broke forest law by going into reserved forest, and they collected wood and they also grazed their cattle, and in this way people living in villages and towns and forest also participated in civil disobedience movement. Next I am going to describe question number 3. How did colonial government react to the civil disobedience movement. Okay, so these are three very important points. So first point is arrest of Abdul Ghaffar Khan. So dear students, when British government saw Indian people breaking laws in cities and villages, so British government became worried and became very much annoyed. Okay, so British government started arresting Congress leaders one by one, and Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, known as Sarhadi Gandhi, was arrested first in 1930 in Peshawar, modern day Pakistan. Next point is arrest of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so 1 month later, Gandhiji was also arrested. As a result, conflicts between police and civilians grew in Sholapur district of Maharashtra and Peshawar district of Pakistan. Okay, next point is attack on peaceful Satyagrahis. So British government got frightened and also responded with brutality. Peaceful Satyagrahis were then attacked, and it is estimated that around 1 lakh people were arrested by the British government after launch of civil disobedience movement. So in this way, colonial government reacted to the civil disobedience movement. And next I am going to describe question number 4. Why did Gandhiji relaunch the civil disobedience movement after Gandhi-Arvind Pact? This question is very, very important. So first point is Gandhi-Arvind Pact 1931. So dear students, after launch of civil disobedience movement, Lord Irwin, Viceroy of India, realized that if he did not negotiate with Mahatma Gandhi, British government would face great challenges while operating in India. So he convinced Gandhiji that if Gandhiji ended civil disobedience movement, Lord Irwin would release political prisoners like Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, like Jawaharlal Nehru, and also accept few demands made by Gandhiji in his letter. So Gandhiji wanted to suspend civil disobedience movement due to widespread violence, and you know that Gandhiji was against any kind of violence. So he accepted proposal of Lord Irwin and suspended civil disobedience movement. Okay, for the time being, that agreement is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Next point is disappointment with second round table conference. So after that, Gandhiji went to London to participate in second round table conference, but he became very much disappointed by seeing that British government was not ready to cooperate with him, and British government was also not ready to accept his proposal and demands. So he felt cheated and returned back to India empty-handed. Next one is deceitful face of Lord Irwin. Okay, so after reaching India, Gandhiji saw that Jawaharlal Nehru and Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan were still kept in jail. In spite of that, government had told Gandhiji to release them after suspension of civil disobedience movement. Therefore, Gandhiji suspended civil disobedience movement. But when he returned to India, he found that still Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru were kept in jail. He also came to know that Congress party had been declared illegal in India. So Gandhiji decided to relaunch civil disobedience movement, but it lost its momentum by 1934. And Gandhiji, accepted that it was his biggest mistake to accept proposal of Lord Irwin or to sign this pact, Gandhi-Irwin Pact. But time had gone, and Gandhiji decided to launch very fresh movement, very fresh campaign, so that he could pressurize British government. So these were few very important points. I hope that you understood all the points very well. Thank you. Bye for now. Khuda Hafiz.